Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating and complex emotions we all experience: jealousy, often called the green-eyed monster. We feel it in friendships, family, at school, and even at work. Sometimes jealousy makes us work harder, but most of the time, it drains our peace of mind. Psychologists describe jealousy as a mix of fear, insecurity, and comparison. It shows up when we think we might lose something valuable, like attention, recognition, or success, to someone else. In this video, we'll explore the psychology behind jealousy, why we feel it, and most importantly, how to deal with it in a healthier way. And like always, after the explanation, I'll give you 10 powerful vocabulary words connected to this topic, with meanings, examples, synonyms, and antonyms. Let's get started. Jealousy has been described for centuries, even in Shakespeare's plays, where it was called the green-eyed monster. Psychologically, jealousy often comes from comparison, when we measure ourselves against others and feel that we are lacking. In the modern world, social media has made this worse, because we constantly see highlights of other people's lives. Another root of jealousy is fear of loss, the thought that we might be replaced, ignored, or left behind. This fear can cause suspicion, resentment, or controlling behavior. But jealousy is not always negative. In small amounts, it can remind us of what we truly value. For example, feeling jealous of someone's achievement can motivate us to improve our own skills. The key is not to let jealousy take control. Instead, we should 1. Recognize it. Admit when we feel jealous without shame. 2. Understand it. Ask why we feel this way and what fear is behind it. 3. Transform it. Turn jealousy into motivation for self-growth instead of bitterness. Jealousy is part of being human, but by facing it with honesty and awareness, we can grow stronger instead of being consumed by the green-eyed monster.
Covet. Covet means to strongly desire something that belongs to someone else. Examples: he coveted his friend's new phone, even though his own was perfectly fine, because he thought it would make him look cooler. We often covet things we don't really need, believing they will bring happiness, but the feeling usually fades. Advertisements are designed to make us covet luxury items that promise status and success. Inferiority. Inferiority is a feeling of being less important or less capable than others. Examples: constant comparison on social media often creates inferiority, as people forget they're only seeing highlights of others' lives. His sense of inferiority stopped him from speaking up in meetings, even though his ideas were excellent. Many students experience inferiority when they measure their grades against classmates instead of focusing on their own progress. Vindictive. Vindictive describes a person who has a strong desire for revenge or to hurt others. Examples: jealousy sometimes makes people vindictive, pushing them to spread rumors just to damage someone's reputation. After losing the competition, she refused to be vindictive. Instead, she congratulated the winner with genuine respect. Vindictive behavior usually backfires, leaving the person more isolated and bitter than before. Animosity. Animosity is strong hostility or deep dislike towards someone. Examples: jealousy can breed animosity between coworkers, especially when one feels overlooked for promotions. The animosity between the two rival schools was so strong that even their sports matches became heated battles. Over time, unresolved animosity in relationships turns small misunderstandings into permanent walls. Pretense. Pretense is an attempt to make something false appear true. Examples: jealousy often hides under the pretense of confidence, where someone pretends they don't care but secretly feel insecure. She lived under the pretense of being happy, smiling at parties while struggling with her own self-doubt. The pretense of success on social media fooled many, but behind the photos, he was facing financial struggles. Rivalry. Rivalry is competition between people who are trying to achieve the same goal. Examples. Sibling rivalry is often fueled by jealousy, as each child competes for attention and approval from parents. The rivalry between the two tech companies drove rapid innovation but also increased pressure on employees. Healthy rivalry can motivate improvement, but toxic rivalry usually destroys relationships and teamwork. Malice. Malice is the desire to cause harm or suffering to someone. Examples. Jealousy sometimes grows into malice, where a person no longer just envies but actively wants to see others fail. He spoke firmly but without malice, making it clear that he disagreed yet held no hatred. Malice poisons relationships, because once someone senses it, trust is almost impossible to rebuild. Agitation. Agitation is a state of nervousness, worry, or emotional disturbance. Examples. Jealousy creates agitation, making people restless and unable to focus on their own lives. She paced around the room in agitation, replaying conversations in her head and imagining what others might think. Agitation in the mind often spreads to the body, showing up as fidgeting, tapping, or nervous habits. Illusion. Illusion is a false belief or misleading appearance that hides reality. Examples. Jealousy often comes from illusion, where we believe others have perfect lives while ignoring their struggles. The magician created such a convincing illusion that the audience gasped in disbelief. Social media builds illusions of perfection, but real life is far more complicated and imperfect. Contentment. Contentment is a state of happiness and satisfaction with what one has. Examples. Contentment is the antidote to jealousy, because when you value what you already have, you stop obsessing over what others possess. He lived in contentment with simple pleasures like family meals and evening walks, never chasing endless desires. Gratitude practices, like writing daily blessings, can increase contentment and reduce comparison.